in the most convenient and efficient way possible.
Absolutely.
Operator, do we have any questions?
I'm showing no questions at this time, sir.
Okay, great. So how do two-way relationships improve sales and business?
Well, I think for the first part, sometimes you might have written something that, as ad copy that just doesn't connect with the people that you're trying to reach. You might possibly have written something that someone doesn't see themselves in. And in those moments where they don't see themselves, that's an opportunity for them to walk away. With a two-way conversation, there's always that chance of somebody saying, wait a minute, do you mean to say, and then you say, oh, no, that's not really what I meant. What I'm going for is this. And then right in there is the connection. The other thing is, in a two-way conversation, like you do, say, at a dinner party or what you do at your local Rotary Club or whatever, there's many more opportunities to there's many more opportunities to connect with the other person about what they're into long before you try to sell them. And I think that that's the biggest, most fundamental change, is that we have this great new opportunity to sell in a way that starts with conversations and works towards a sale, as opposed to starting with hitting them over the head with the please buy this.
Yeah, I think in sales we call that relationship selling. You establish a relationship, and what a great way to do that, through Facebook, through blogging, through a newsletter that has real content about yourself or about the market you're in, or about an event, things that really get the potential client to understand who you are and to know you.
Exactly. And you're right. I mean, relationship sales is definitely what I'm mentioning. And I just think that using some of these social tools, using the blogs and the Facebooks and the Twitters and the YouTube and stuff, are a great way to do relationship sales even when you're not necessarily there,
right,
and in a far more effective way. One thing to think about is, if you answer someone's question in an email, you've answered it once, and you might have to answer it another 100 times. If you point them to a blog post that answers the question very effectively, then you might save yourself thousands of emails and or get, a couple hundred more people that are excited about the way you answered it.
No, you're right. So we all have limited time and money to invest in all these things. I mean, some of the devices you just mentioned, from the Galaxy Tab to the iPhone, these are expensive propositions. Yet there's a whole generation out there that is that represents the buyers of today and tomorrow, who are using these devices, using the internet, never will probably ever walk into a bank and conduct a transaction, because everything's being done online. Where should real estate professionals invest their money and time now?
That's a good question. I think that real estate professionals have, with regards to the hardware, it's an arms race, so it's hard to get into it. I would say that if you're not using some kind of, I'd be surprised if real estate professionals don't at least have a BlackBerry at this point.
Right.
If you're just trying to answer on one of those crappy old-fashioned flip phones, then bless your heart, as they say in the South. The rest of the 20th century, not even the 21st century, is actually getting their email wherever they walk. And think about what that does to the impact of closings and stuff like that. It's just, if you're forever having to go back to your desktop to pick up the next piece of information in the puzzle, then you're just a heck of a lot slower than your competitor, and that's going to burn you. Where to spend your money? I would say that, don't spend a ton of it on your site design. Spend a little of it on your site design. Spend some of it on your mobile marketing. Spend it on possibly getting, if you are using newsletters to market, spend using some of it on maybe a reasonably decent email service provider. I use a company called Blue Sky Factory. There's another company called Aweber. There's Constant Contact, which has 400,000 plus members or something like crazy like that. There's a lot of different email service providers. Why use that as opposed to your Outlook, for example? Your deliverability is way far down and you just don't know it. A lot of the stuff you're sending probably isn't even getting to the other people. And there's ways to mechanize a lot of what you're doing so that you don't have to do it the old-fashioned way and blind carbon copy everybody. So spend your money on a reasonably good site. Spend your money on a decent email service provider. And then beyond that, take a look at some of the things I mentioned, like maybe making a mobile version for some of the most simplest parts of what people would need if they were trying to reach you remotely, and then spend some time instead of your money getting into some of these social places like Facebook and Twitter, and start seeing if there's a way that you can leverage some of that to have people connect back into you and build some relationships.
Operator, do we have any questions?
We have a question from Lily Rodriguez.
Okay. Hi, Lily.
Can you hear me? I had the phone on mute. See, that's what happens when you're in the 50-somethings, which is basically where my question is headed. Since most of the statistics show that the average age of the real estate professional is in the mid-50s, and most of the incoming generation of buyers is more in the 30s, what suggestions can you give us as ways of bridging that gap so that communication by way of the social medias, I mean, you've given some great suggestions with regard to Facebook and content and that kind of thing, but could you give us a couple of other suggestions on how, where we should be looking so that then our content, as we apply these great suggestions that you've given us, will have better results?
Hi, Lillian. Thanks for the question. There's no real penalty to putting things in lots of places, although there is a search penalty if you just flat out copy everything to a lot of different places. So I think that, if I were going to start with 2 or 3 spots in helping people source things, I might look and see if there's a LinkedIn group already that exists that would be useful to you. And if not, I would consider making a LinkedIn group that would be sort of the most broadly inclusive version of a group for your sales target that you could possibly make. So, for example, I wouldn't necessarily put, Century 21 Boston as my LinkedIn group. I might put Boston Real Estate Finds or something like that, where you make it kind of exciting to be there, and you can have people come there that are from more than one organization, for example. LinkedIn might be one. Facebook for sure. And again, just because there's so many people of older demographic getting onto it, and older 31 to 60 being kind of the hot spot right now, that there's ways to kind of grow that business there. And then the third is just a simple blog. And blogs can be as inexpensive as $10 to set up, and they can be a couple thousand to have somebody do it in a really good way. More than $2,000 or $3,000, and you're probably paying a consultant to have a good vacation. But I would say that a place like a blog is really useful insofar as you can present all the information your way, and you don't have to worry that the social network place is going to pull it back off for some reason, like maybe you violated a term of service. Now, it sounds like a lot of places to maintain, but after a while it gets simple to understand how to link them together. For example, there's a way that you hook your blog into Facebook so that it would go right to your group page or whatever, and then you don't have to worry about moving the content from more than one spot. You can have your LinkedIn can actually also be tied to your blog so that you can put the information in one spot, and then people will view it where they are, which is kind of the beauty of it. The best thing you can hope for is that people will connect where they are, and you don't have to worry about having to find where they are. Hopefully that helps.
That was great. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you, Lily, for calling. Operator, next question.
Sure, no questions at this time, sir.
Okay, let's tackle our last bullet here in the next few minutes here. The content community marketplace method for selling and making business value.
Well, yes. So I have a model that I've been working on for a while and started using in different ways over time, but this is sort of the gel of it all. And it's called content, community, and marketplace. And the idea is that going to a place like YouTube is tons of content, but there's not necessarily a lot of community. If you read the comments on any particular YouTube video, they're usually by 14-year-old boys who don't like what you just posted, no matter what it was. Mm-hmm. Community is wonderful, but it has to gather around something, and so I tend to look to build communities that gather around good content. So I consider a place like a blog, I consider a place like a web TV show. It could be a series of teleconferences like Power is Now, and I think that the idea is that once you provide good content, what you've provided is sort of a campfire for people to gather around and have conversation. You capture that conversation by communicating back and forth with that community. Now, this is probably the hardest part of community these days, on the web anyway, is that it's scattered. People are everywhere, and you have to sort of figure out where they are, understand which of your clients are where, and address them where they are. And that takes some time, and I admit that. Marketplace is basically the idea that once you have good content in a place and once you have good community, you really do have to look for making sure that you make conversions to whatever your business goal is, whatever your sales goal is. So it could be as simple as selling something, or it could be as simple as using the content and community part as lead capture to your further sales funnel to make sure that you're not just sitting around making good blog posts and not selling houses. Or if you're shooting amazing YouTube videos of how great the neighborhood is, but that's not giving you more opportunities to show, then you're not really necessarily taking advantage of the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Two things to think about, though, is that one, not only is the community everywhere, but the marketplace is kind of everywhere. So you definitely need to have the options to buy or the options to opt in, the options to take that, whatever that next step is, spread out into lots of places so that where your person is where they choose to buy. Again, my point is before the iTunes store, you used to have to run down to the local record shop to find the album that you were hoping for, and if they didn't have it, you went home empty.
Right.
Nowadays, I would say that the opportunity to buy is right on your phone, right at home, and anywhere that you want to pick up that music, and that's kind of what you're shooting for your own business.
Wow. I tell you, Chris, the more I listen to you, the more I realize that why you are sitting at the table of major Fortune 100 and 500 companies providing advice and direction as to leveraging the internet, social media, and websites. I really appreciate you taking time to be with us today. I'm going to have the operator call out for the final question, and then we're going to wrap up the call. Operator.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question at this time, please press star then 1 on your touchtone telephone.
So, Chris, with no further questions, obviously you have stunned us all with your information. And this call is being recorded and will be available for replay on Facebook.com/The Power Is Now. Again, I really appreciate you taking time, sitting down there in Manhattan, and handling this call. Have a safe trip to, I think you're going to Boston, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, and we look forward to perhaps having you back again to talk more about social media as the real estate profession continues to move up the learning curve and understand the different ways that we can expand our audience and sell more homes and even as loan consultants do more loans. So, again, thank you for being with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, this call is being recorded, and you can go to Facebook.com/The Power Is Now to listen to the recording. It will be on the Facebook by tomorrow, so look out for that. Please link up with me at LinkedIn and also Facebook and Twitter, and I'm trying to follow a lot of Chris's advice and really be on the internet and also engaged in all the various social media sites. In fact, I will be speaking on this tomorrow night in Anaheim. Active Rain is having an event there. Please go to the website, activerain.com, and you can check out all the details about it. But I, along with about 6 other people, will be speaking at that event, and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope I get an opportunity to meet some or all of you at the Active Rain event. Also, I mentioned earlier that Henish Pulico, who is the Director of Operations from Infinite Asset Management, will be on the Powers Now. It's going to be March 3rd. That's the first Thursday in March, and he's going to be talking about how to get listings from Infinite Asset Management, and we hope to have in the second half of 2011 a series of calls with CEOs and directors of asset management companies throughout California and the United States to talk about the opportunity to work with short sales and assets for these companies. Next week, Desiree Patno is going to be talking about women in business. 2011 is the year of the women in business, and there are tremendous opportunities for real estate professionals, women who are owners of their own companies, and are agents, and she's going to be talking about financial reform and the offices of women and minorities. These are new offices in the government, new contracting programs for women-owned real estate companies, certification to better market yourself and your business, minority certification. So if you are a female and you're engaged in real estate, please let all of your sisters know that Desiree is going to be on the phone, and she is an expert, bona fide expert. She is a president of the National Association of Women Real Estate Brokers, and she is definitely in the know, and I'm looking forward to her teleconference next Thursday, same time, same telephone number. Well, remember, the power is now. We are at our best, and we maximize our success when we act now. Thank you for joining the call. See you next week on The Power is Now. Have an awesome day today. Have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your participation in today's conference. This concludes the program. You may now disconnect. Everyone, have a wonderful day.